Well, here we are, guys, back in the cell. We got some puzzles to do still before we get our next performance review, and hopefully some more kibble. I admit to being a bad boy, though. I was rendering a video last night and started to look at this puzzle, and I went ahead and did it. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I did it off camera. It took a little doing to get to. We looked at this at the end of the last video. We had this drone here, which I'm understanding that drone means actual destructive device. It has a busted CPU or something and a busted tank gun, and we've got some more parts for that coming off over here, but we have to strip the old ones off. And I couldn't do it with a straight eviscerator because that would just grind off that piece, which we need and we don't have any more of. So I just used a couple of conveyor belts. This one's turned that way, this one's turned this way. So that basically just moves it out, shifts it left, and then shifts it back right. And grinds the barrel into this one. And then I've got another one over here to do the same thing to bring it in just for one block and take off the CPU. So there's that. That's what that does. Ignore this for now. It was needed for timing. Over here, we got the CPU block coming off. That's a little bit of a delay. Just needed to get things in the right spot. And then we've got the tank barrel pieces coming out. They do come out facing this way, long ways. We can run it and see. So it needed to get turned, so I had to find a space where that could happen. And so it kind of ended up getting routed around here. We throw 3 into here when the sensor goes. They're all welded. The pusher block pushes it forward. And then they both drop down into here, which is one offset from the center frame of that drone there. So how does it happen next? Well, we got a sensor here, which controls pusher blocks. So as soon as this spot is occupied, the gun barrel and the CPU are going to get pushed forward, welded to the top of the tank on either side of that block that's still left. And in this here is a little stopper to stop the tank body, because when we run it, we're going to see the tank body comes down. Actually, hang on, let's go back here and watch it get cut. So, shifts, comes back. Now here's a delay to kind of keep it from getting up there too soon, because remember, as soon as it gets up here, this is going to push these off. So we really want these pieces in place first. So we get it held in place by that, and then when the new one comes, it pushes it forward. I had to keep moving this back, and then I had to delay that to get the timing right, but we finally have it. Also, the pusher block was pushing it out, so I had to throw that there to bring it back. It's a little strange how the conveyors interact with big things. You kind of have to play around with it a little bit. It's not intuitive. But anyway, it's working. It doesn't overflow. At least I hope it doesn't overflow. Let's speed it up a little bit. And looks like we're going to get there. Yeah, we got it. Now, I'm really high. I hadn't actually run this to completion, so I'm really high on everything, unfortunately. Block score is a little high. The footprint score is a lot high. Yeah, so unfortunately, let's try turning up the input rate 1 and see if it works. Let's fast forward here. Is this going to work? Yeah, it looks like it will, so that'll at least bring our cycle score down a little bit. Maybe, if we don't overrun it. Looks like it's going to be okay. I don't think max would work. Yeah, so now our cycle score is good at least. So we may come back to these and try to improve on our performance there. I'm not real sure. This next one, furnished studio apartment. Oh, all right, let's see what this is all about. We've had no logs. Oh, looks like there's a guy down there. Okay, I don't see anything up here. This is what we're building. Oh, we're building our cell. Oh, that's funny. Okay, great. We've got a failure log over here. Let's run it. I guess it's a failure log. Yep. Oh, no.
Yes! It's working! This practically makes up for the whole alien abduction thing.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean this isn't right?
Killed by a sink. Okay, well.
Would make a terrible video game.
Indeed. All right. Well, that's funny. Okay. So what do we got going on here? We're getting all the pieces pre-assembled. Well, that's good news. I was a little worried that we're gonna have to build them all out of blocks. So let's see what happens here. Okay. So everything comes out. We need to move the bed over to here, the sink over to here, the TV. Okay, so the TV like needs to go inside of the wall. So like we're gonna have to handle this assembly separate, I guess. But this looks pretty easy actually. If we let's move that back one. I'm just gonna have it be stationary for now, and then let's see what happens. So that's just gonna land on the block there. All right, so we need the sink to go over a little bit more. Like out, all this stuff's gonna have to come out at least once so we can get a handle on it, I guess. It's just falling right on the floor, which we don't need. Although this guy can probably get dropped all the way down to the floor. Let's go ahead and put it there for now. It's probably gonna have to come out more from there, but let's see what happens now. Okay. So we would need to get this all the way over to this side. And oh, and the next floor pushes it forward. Cool, so we don't actually need a conveyor belt. We can... Is it lined up with this? It is. Okay, good. So this floor is in the right spot. So all we have to do is to get it over to here. How wide is it? It's 5 wide. So that's the end of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we need another one there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it'll fall in there. So if I'm not mistaken, that floor ought to just be able to go right over there with the one block on it. And these don't count against our block score. Is this even gonna keep going? Let's fast forward. And yes, it does get in. No, it doesn't get into place. Okay, so that's not gonna work. So we're gonna need like one more out on all of these. That should get it into place. So let's try that. I just want to go ahead and get the floor situated. Okay, you gonna get in there on the next one? Yes. Alright, it is. I know you don't like it. Right, so now we need to get the sink into place. So we would need the sink to line up right here, basically. And are these things level? Yeah, okay. We're going to be able to weld those on the side. So we need to have it fall right there. And then when it falls right there, we're going to need a welder right here. For the floor and for that. So that ought to put the sink on okay. And now we need to do the bed. The bed is going to be right here, I think. So let's go ahead and set up a welder for it. This is probably a mistake. I'm probably going to have to move this whole thing. And there is an area select that will let you do that, by the way. So that'll be important to use at some point, probably. So now we want the bed to fall right there, but we want it to shift over. It can't shift from there, so we'll have to bring it down one more. To right there. Right there. How wide is the bed? It's 3 wide or 2 wide? 3 wide. So that ought to get it into the right place. Let's see if this works. Okay, the bed falls down. Not into the right spot because why? Whoa, what happened? Did I block the... I misjudged totally where this thing goes. I did. Totally misjudged. Okay, fine. We'll redo it. Okay, you, and now 1, 2, 3. So we need this to go one more further. And will that get it? Let's try. Okay, sink and bed are in place. So all we got to do is get the wall situated here. Whoops, let's go back. Let's run it again and see what happens with this. Okay, the wall comes out. It's in the right place. The wall needs to be up one more. Okay. So the wall is coming out at the right height. We don't need it to fall. That's important to note. Do we want that there? Yeah, I think we have to have it there. Let's see. Okay, the wall is in the right place. Now, we need the TV, the monitor, to be down one. And then we also need it to be like... out? How far? Only one block. Let's try running it. Oh, no, one more. And actually, I guess we could use a block there and a conveyor here. I'm trying to keep the block score low. Okay, it's in the right spot, so we just need it to push over. How? Whoa, that's tall. Let's see, maybe we don't want it to be... I don't want to take a piece all the way down from the ceiling there. We need a pusher block to sit on here and push the TV back inside. How far out does it need to go? I'm not entirely sure. This is the end of the thing, so let's throw a block down there so we know that. And the TV is one in on that side. So our sensor is going to have to be right up from this. How far is that? I don't know, I can't tell. It's hard to see. I think that's right. So a sensor needs to live actually here. And then we just need a pusher block here. I'm not sure if it's lined up, but a pusher block there to push it back into place. Let's see if that works. Oh no, it's too high. Okay, it's got to come down one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we don't need it to come out that far. We need the sensor to live here. Pusher block to live here. And let's see. You get it. Oh, no, that didn't work. That didn't push it all the way in. Of course it didn't push it all the way in. Because they're too far apart to begin with. So actually we need to push the wall forward maybe when it gets to... We need to push the wall in early, actually. Looks like the wall gets into place, so what if we just do that? Let's try that. Oh, whoa, okay. That's not going to work because it actually doesn't get out there soon enough. Sorry, my phone alarm going off there. Okay, well, that's a bit of a thing. Let me work on getting on the timing on this, and I'll come back. I don't want to waste too much time on camera here with that, but give me a sec. Alright, well that was easy enough. So instead of trying to push the wall, which we can't really do because we need to have the welders like behind the wall here. There's no way to weld this thing from the front. So what I figured is instead of working out a pusher block contraption over here, what we should do is just push the TV back in using conveyors. So I think that'll work. We can use a block there. We don't need that. And to be honest, I don't think we need this. And we might need to get it into the proper position there. So let's try that. I think this is going to work. Oh, No, it didn't. We need the TV to come out one more before it gets pushed back. So, and that would be why that block was important. Okay. Yep. So, yep, TV pushed into place. So that block goes away. We need a welded block there. I'm glad you don't have to weld it all the way around. Welded. Okay, good deal. So now we need everything to get pushed together, and it can't happen until after we get up beyond all of this. Okay, so that's what needs to go on. So as soon as it's welded, how quickly does the push in and weld happen? Does anything stop? Yeah, that actually stops for a bit. So what we need to have happen is we need a sensor that really could go right there. When this sensor is occupied, the pusher will withdraw, I believe, if we use a pusher block. So, while there's no TV there, there will be a pusher extended. And the pusher needs to be right here, I think. Let's try that. Okay. Okay. Pusher was extended, then it withdrew, but I don't even have it far enough up to make a difference. But actually, the whole thing starts moving again, doesn't it? We may not need a sensor. It may just push it along for us anyway. We don't need that block. We don't need that block. Or wait, hold on. We need one of those blocks. And then we need a block there. Okay, what happens now? Does everything get pushed forward? If the whole thing gets pushed forward, it does, but I've got these blocks in the wrong spot. Okay, block's in the right spot now. In theory, this block here could be a push together block. Is that going to be right? Oh, we've gone down too far. Yes, we have. It needs to stay elevated so that we can push it onto the floor. So this, and one more. That'll get it onto the floor. And then how do we weld it? We weld it right here, I think. With... No. Right like this. Two welders right here. And then the whole thing ought to continue getting pushed along. We don't want it to fall down. Okay, it's not going to fall down. It's going to fall onto the floor. Alright, let's try that. Okay, next one comes along, pushes it forward. It's not welded yet, but when it moves along with the next one, it will become welded. Oh no, it didn't. Of course it didn't move the wall forward with the other one to weld. Okay. So that's going to be a problem. It doesn't push the wall along. How could we resolve that? We could resolve that with a pusher block, I guess. Here's the end of the wall. So in other words, here's where the new wall is going to be. So we could, I guess, put a pusher block here. Okay. We need to have a pusher block to happen here. And we would also need one to push the wall, which can't happen. Alright, I'm not sure how this happens here. We got to get this welded, but it's hard to push the welding forward. What if we get rid of this. What I'm thinking is that instead, when this wall gets pushed along, we'll move it forward by itself, and then we're going to want to move it one more forward and use, I think you can attach, let's try. I think that we can attach a welder to one of these blocks. Yes, we can. So, the welder gets pushed forward by one block with that. Alright, another experiment. Can we push multiples? Probably not. Oh, we can. Oh. Okay, that adds some options. Although we can't give it a signal because it can't be connected to a conduit the whole time. Or can it? Can it break away from a conduit? No, it cannot. It's stuck to a conduit permanently. Alright, well, let me play with this for a little bit more and see if I can get it working. Alright, well, here's what I tried, and unfortunately I'm kind of out of time to solve this puzzle for now, but I will come back and record how I finally solved it. What I tried is a system whereby a welder would extend, and unfortunately you can only do this with the pusher blocks, not these, or with, yeah, the blocker blocks, not the pusher blocks. So they extend when there's not a signal. And what I was trying to find is a way to make them extend when... I'm going to take these out just so that we can run it and take a look at what happens. Oops, okay, that's not going to work because I've let this go. This doesn't work anyway, so I'm just going to take it out and we can put it back when I finally figure something out. But here's where I've gotten it to. The TV gets pushed in, bed and sink get welded on. The next set of blocks pushes the whole thing forward. This thing slides into place right where it needs to be, but we need to extend a welder to it. Oops, hold on. Let me run it all the way back and run it again. I'll fast forward it just to the point where we get to. Okay, there. Oh, jeez. Trying to hit T and I'm hitting the wrong key. Okay, so now I paused it. So now everything is put exactly where we want it to be. What we need to do is weld this though. Otherwise this isn't going to come with the floor when it moves. Now the question is how to do that, because we've had to push this thing in from the back. So the only thing I can think of is I guess we could weld it from the side by extending a pusher block into here. That could work. Maybe. Yeah, but anyway, we've got to get this welded. And then we need to retract the welder so that this can move forward again so it doesn't jam up the works. And I don't quite know how to do that, but it should be doable. Hopefully. Hopefully I won't have to rearrange this whole thing. But I think we're almost there. And then getting it onto the conveyor or onto the transport, whatever the heck this thing is a pretty easy thing after that, I believe. Can we get through this? We can, right? Oh no, it's solid. Weird. Kind of thought it was just hologram. Anyway, that's the final bit though, is figuring out how to weld this dang thing, and I really don't know. It can't be anything that sits behind here. It might be able to be something that extends from right here though. So let me mark this block. Let me mark this corner block. I'm just going to turn off R. Mark the corner block. That's what we need to weld right there. We need to get something out here that welds this. So how does it happen? I don't know, but I guess we'll figure it out soon. Alright, I'll see you guys when I have a solution for it. Talk to you soon. Hey, well, you know what? It was easier than I thought it was. Okay, so let's look at what I did. So we've got the wall falling into place here. I put a couple of, this is just, this spot right here is the end corner. This is where the floor and the wall are going to line up. So we need to weld them there. So I've stuck a couple of welders on these pusher blocks. And I got a little conduit running up here. This is the upper right corner. This is that corner right there of the wall. So when it is occupied, when a wall is in place, the pusher arms will withdraw. When we start it, they're going to extend. So the floor is going to come in, then the wall is going to come in and get welded. as soon as the wall is in place, the pusher arms will retract and wait until this is clear. But the thing is, it won't be clear for a little while because the next one is coming out right behind it. So let's watch how it works. So everything goes in like we saw before. Next piece comes out. This all gets pushed forward. This now gets slid into place and welded. Now the pusher arms are retracted. So this piece can go forward, but this piece can't. So now it moves over here. Unfortunately, the pusher arm pushes it out of place, so we have to move it back into place over here, and then it gets accepted by the system. So this is, man, our footprint score looks horrible. There's a little bit of shifting around that's hinky, but it works. Let's see how we did on score. Cycle score is pretty bad. Block score is pretty good, though. I think that we can probably do something about the cycle score. Let's see if we can turn the input rate up and try it and see what happens. Does it still work with +1 input? It does, and it's a damn sight faster. So hopefully this will get our cycle score down to something acceptable. Footprint, I don't know what I could do about footprint, honestly. Although, do I need that many frickin' welders? Yeah, I probably do. I didn't improve cycles all that much, to be honest. Probably because I'm sitting around waiting for the new pieces to come out. That might be it. Let's get our performance review and see how we did. What do they got there? They got, like, turkey dinners. Why do you guys get that? What? Okay. Eat chicken. Can I get the cooked one you guys got? What's up with that? That's horrible. Yummy. Thanks, guys. I was hoping for another curio for my cell, but I guess I'll eat a live chicken for your pleasure. You gotta wash the taste out with some kibble. Alright, guys. Well, what's next here? Let's just see what's next. We got resource site 338.11, a guided javelin type 2. Okay, well, we've done that sort of thing before. We get one new block this series. So, alright, we'll check it out next time around. Thanks again for joining me for Infinifactory. Bye.